Hello, all YouTubers. I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back into this weather presentation for April 29th, 2020. As always, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, liking my videos, as well as sharing them. And if you haven't already, I highly suggest that ASAP, after you watch this video, check out my summer forecast located in the top right of your screen there. And let's get started with the video. And today, we're going to be talking about the severe weather threat that is going to be moving across the southeast and through the south central. And in my summer forecast, if you want to know, because I know some people were asking that when I did my summer forecast, that like what was your prediction for hurricane season? That video is also located right on the top right of your screen right there. So let's get started. So we're going to track the radar live, and before we do though, I want to go to the Storm Prediction Center, and here's your greatest threat region for today: New Orleans, Louisiana, Biloxi, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, even Birmingham, Alabama. Actually, yes, Birmingham, as well as Montgomery. All right, and even Atlanta's in that greatest risk zone, that slight threat. Okay, this is where the highest threat of severe weather is going to be today. Okay, and when we're talking about like how many people are going to be affected by severe weather today, that is about just over 37 million people. All right, so that's a lot. Okay, but that also accounts for, that's also including up there in Oregon. All right, but still, when you talk about severe weather in the lower 48, total of 37 million people will be affected today. Power outages, okay, I will refresh, but I believe this is the latest one. Yes. All right, so we do have some power outages, okay? A lot of power outages right now in Texas and Louisiana. But even some power outages are in Arkansas right now. Let's change the color so you guys can see that better. There we go. All right, so Arkansas, okay, customers tracked, but nearly 1.4 million. There's about 13,000 customers out currently in Arkansas, and this was updated, about 7:47. So this is recent. All right, this was just updated like 10 minutes ago. Okay, Louisiana has nearly 100,000 people out, so 99,000 people out in Louisiana, and 203,000 power outages in Texas right now. All right, so, and you can see the top 5 states here: Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas. Mississippi is next, okay? Even though they're not really shaded in a yellow or red color, Mississippi does have about 4,700 power outages, followed by Oklahoma with about 3,200 power outages. So the severe weather, okay, it was a big line that kind of formed here, kind of dropped south. So you can see, and it really affected the southern part. The line affected the south part of the United States more than it did Missouri. Missouri has about 2,700 power outages currently. All right, here's the NAM model. So this is kind of like right now here. All right, and you can see the line of storms that is now moving through Houston. Okay, I know Houston just got hit by some strong thunderstorms. Okay, this will be moving, and will be coming towards Louisiana, or New Orleans, I should say, within the next hour. All right, so there it goes, at least according to the NAM model, right there, 10 o'clock, moving through New Orleans. And then we're like, well, where's the severe weather risk for today? Yes, that is going to be located right in this region, and it's going to be for later in the day. All right, so there you go. We have these mini like lines of storms. So here's one, here's two, here's a little cluster right there. All right, now as I observed that the Cape isn't that high. Okay, in case you don't know what the Cape is, that is basically like that the instability, the heat, the juice in the atmosphere. They really need to fire up those thunderstorms. But and you can see that line looks very impressive coming through Shreveport. Let's refresh that just in case. And you can see we have plenty of severe warnings right along this line here. It's through Shreveport. It just passed through Monroe. Monroe you had it about 10 minutes ago. All right. But you can see this line is a very impressive line here. All right, I mean, we have multiple severe warnings. And when you take a look at the hourly rainfall, and let's take a look at the rainfall here. All right, look at this. We've had rainfall rates just like from 1.2 to up past 2 inches per hour. Like I said, it might not last an hour, but if let's say we had 2 inches of rain in an hour, right? And that's like an inch of rain in 30 minutes. That's half inch of rain in 15 minutes. And so this is a lot of rain. And not only that, but look how widespread all those yellows and oranges are. They're not only This is just one little area seeing an inch of rain an hour. It's a widespread 1 to 2 inch rainfall rates per hour. All right, and this is now moving through central Louisiana, headed down towards Houston. Probably already moving through Houston. All right, so let's take a look at the modeling now. All right, so here's a high resolution model. Again, even when the line comes through, you're still going to have to deal with some rain after that. All right, so we're still going to be having rain to deal with. And here it comes through the afternoon. Okay, 5 o'clock, we have these little sprouting thunderstorms, even a couple clusters, maybe some lines of storms. Then it moves into the Carolinas and as well as Florida by Thursday. But even overnight, we still got some pretty steady thunderstorms moving through Georgia. All right, so that's something we're going to be watching out for. Again, mixed layer cape isn't all that high. All right, we are going to have some. All right, but if you look at the latest model run of the high resolution model, it is not much. All right, your greatest amounts will be found right on the Alabama-Georgia line by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yes, and then 6 o'clock we have a little bit more cape here in central Georgia, maybe some blues, but like we're talking about just over 1,000 joules per kilogram if you're lucky. A lot of the higher cape amounts are already with that line that's pushing through over the ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, and there's no cape behind it either. All right, so over the Gulf of Mexico, we're talking about over 3,000 joules per kilogram. That's your heat that you need. All right, and there isn't really that much. And now, but Florida will have some on Thursday. We'll have some cape, so that'll enhance your severe weather threat tomorrow. All right, bulk wind shear. All right, wind shear won't be that high either. All right, so you notice the storms are right here. The storms are moving through Georgia. All right, let's go to Wednesday at 22Z, and which is 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, notice this is where all the storms are, right? And here's your wind shear. See, there's not much wind shear. All the wind shear is coming in behind it. That's where you're gesturing yourself. It's not really timed correctly. Okay, even though now the storms that you see, like if you see the storms here in Alabama, these would actually have a better chance of rotating because if you look at the wind shear, at least we have some purples there. We have a little bit more wind shear there in Alabama. But the storms over there in Georgia, even though they might look worse or maybe more numerous, there's not as much wind shear to really turn those winds with height. So that's something we're going to be analyzing too. All right, supercell composite here, chances of some supercells. Okay, like I said, Georgia, because you're going to have the most cape, all right, this is where your highest chance of some supercells are. Like I said, maybe 5, potentially 7, okay, out of a 50. That's kind of like your probability here. All right, and then overnight, we're going to have to watch the Big Bend here in Florida. I say we adjust to the east of that, we could have some higher chances of some supercells, maybe closer to a 1 out of 5, 10 out of 50, maybe 20% chance is possible. All right, and then again, that sprouts right there. So there's your little 10 region, Georgia and Florida borderline. So that's something we're going to be watching overnight, but these storms will be blossoming, of course, in the afternoon. All right, this map, it's the same thing. Well, yeah, it's the same kind of map, but this is the same thing, except this is significant tornado parameters. So chances of having significant tornadoes. You can see a couple model runs ago of the HRR here. We had a lot greater of a chance, and like I said, the Big Bend here by 2Z on Thursday. So that doesn't mean Thursday at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, that means that is Wednesday at 10 p.m. All right. So these storms will be moving through, and if it's a 2 and that goes up to about a 10, just about a 10 here. So need 2 out of 10. That's still a 20% chance. So look towards Georgia and even Florida here overnight. But as for the afternoon hours, it's going to be up towards Alabama and northern Georgia. Okay, towards the early and mid-afternoon hours. Let's look at those turning with winds with height. Do we have the turning of the winds with height? Okay. All right, and the surface-based cape will be shown as well, but that's kind of faded out because we're focusing on those wind crossovers. Let's look at here. This is 3 p.m. All right, and you can see that the red indicates winds at the surface, which are coming out of this direction, at least in Georgia, and the 5,000 feet winds are coming out of this direction. So yes, it's not bad. We're having some turning of winds with height, all right, but if you look back towards Alabama, the 5,000 feet winds and the surface winds are coming out the exact same direction. So that's where your reduced tornado threat will be. But Georgia, I think we have a decent chance, all right? But take a look when those thunderstorms make their way through, right? Notice how the surface winds and the 5,000 feet winds are starting starting to become as one. They're starting to come out of the same direction. And there you go. So by the time the storms, okay, move through, once that cape is all gone, you can notice that the winds, again, surface at 5,000 feet, come out of the same direction. But I think that we do have the chance to have some turning of winds with height. Before we get into the excessive rainfall risk, though, I do want to go to the radar. Let me just reload it up again. And we're going to take a look at some of the thunderstorms. And you can see this line of storms are really powerful here. Okay, and they've already issued special marine warnings for pretty much the entire northern Gulf Coast. From Texas, okay, well, like near the Houston and Galveston, all the way towards the Big Bend of Florida, they've already issued special marine warnings. Okay, this is a huge line of storms. Now, let's zoom in here, and I'll try to make sure that you can still see the radar, and as well as the face cam not getting in the way. But even when that big line of storms moves through, which it already has moved through Port Arthur, Beaumont already, okay, you're still going to have to deal with some heavy rain behind that. All right, so that's actually a place called Cutoff, Louisiana. That's pretty cool. So this line of storms is moving towards Cutoff. It's already off the coast of Texas here. All right, and then you go back towards west, and then we're starting to see some other storms flare up in Texas over there as well. All right, but like I said, once that line of storms moves through, you have to deal with a large batch of heavy rain behind that, as if the line hasn't already produced heavy rain, right? Well, Shreveport, okay, Monroe, okay, Lafayette, Port Arthur, we're already starting to get that rain behind that big line of storms. And once that rain moves through, you're pretty much in the clear for today. All right, and now the storms are starting to fire already, and look at this. It kind of looks like a little rotating storm here through Alabama. That is really interesting, but that's kind of faded out now. Almost looks like some kind of tropical storm on satellite. And here's a cluster of storms that's moving east. All right, really had some flaring up of some storms overnight. Near Biloxi, I believe. Yes, that is near Biloxi, Gulfport, Mississippi. All right, and even towards Mobile, Alabama, we're starting to see a line of storms that is starting to move through now. All right, and we already have a special marine warning here. All right, near the Big Bend in Florida. Okay, wind gusts will be of 34 knots or greater. So some pretty strong gusty winds here. All right, but that is the latest. Looks like the latest radar loop as of now. Again, we'll be watching these storms that move through Alabama here. All right, but like I said, that line of storms is very dangerous. Luckily, it's moving off the coast because of its shape. It's moving off the coast of Texas and western Louisiana, but eastern Louisiana and Mississippi, you still got little ways to go here. You still got the line of storms, and you got that large area of heavy rain yet to go through. All right, so let's get into the Weather Prediction Center now. All right, this is the excessive rainfall. And for today, you can notice, so when the severe threat is kind of more down here, right? But notice your excessive rainfall threat is way far to the north. Okay, we're talking about the Appalachian Mountains now. We're talking about all the way going up into Pennsylvania here, and even in the western Maryland. And Chicago, you even have a slight risk, as well as just south of Green Bay. There's a marginal to slight risk of excessive rainfall. And by tomorrow, the excessive rainfall threat grows. All right, from New York, we're talking about New York City, Southern Connecticut, Philadelphia, Trenton, all the way through Delaware, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. Yes, that's where you're going to have your big threat of excessive rainfall. Not severe weather. Severe weather threat will be limited because it's going to be more of a rain and wind event. But even down to the Carolinas, we still have a threat for excessive rainfall here, and that will be tomorrow, so for Thursday. All right. And here's our river flood outlook. You can see through the southeast, we've already had many areas that have already the river flooding is already occurring actually, and through the Great Lakes as well as the Mid-Atlantic for tomorrow here. That's where, or actually the Great Lakes is today. The Mid-Atlantic is tomorrow, as to where your possible excessive river flooding will be, or significant river flooding. All right, so that is it for today's severe weather coverage. Again, storms will be firing through Alabama and Georgia, but like I said, what we had about 10 days ago and a few days ago, that was the last severe weather outbreak we will be having for a while. Of course, there's going to be more severe weather that we're going to be contending with, but thankfully, the threat is not as high today. But still, severe thunderstorm warning, okay, treat it like a tornado warning. Stay safe, take cover. Thank you for watching. I am the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time, and be sure to check out the videos on that side of your screen now. Thank you for watching.